Hey everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. I'm so excited you're here today. I have to show you the card I didn't give my nephew. I intended to give him this card when I started out to make it. I'm using the new Dino Days stamp set, which is adorable. Actually, I'm using the bundle because I'm using the dies as well. And this is them. So super cute. They cut out a few images that aren't in the stamp set, so that's kind of cool too. So we've got this little... I think this thing's called a pterodactyl. It's going to really test my strength here to remember back to the days of when I learned about dinosaurs. And then I stamped the sentiment, "You're Rarsome," in Mango Melody. I just love this set. So you're going to kind of see my creative process here because I didn't design this card before I made it. I just made it. And sometimes when I do that, things come together the way I have planned, and sometimes they don't. So I had in my head that I was going to use this pterodactyl, and that was going to be it. But then I ended up having to do more stamping. So as we work through the card, I will talk about that. But then I will also share with you some story time. So disclaimer, if you don't like chatty videos, I'm probably not the demonstrator for you. Yeah, that's it. I'm just not. So that little Whisper White sentiment strip that I have, I cut at 1 inch by 3 3/4 inch. The Whisper White cardstock base is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. The Mango Melody piece is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I think, if I remember correctly. And the DSP is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, which means actually that sentiment strip is cut at 1 by 4. Basically, you're just looking to make some card layers. It doesn't really matter what size they are. I just love this designer series paper. It's probably my favorite in the catalog now that I have my hands on it because it's so versatile on the... Like, if you don't want to use the dinosaur side, you can use the back side for all kinds of things. So I've got my Mango Melody. And then you can see here, this side has dinosaurs all over it, and I didn't want to use that side, so I used the other side that looks more tropical, and you could use that for anything, really. Okay, so we're going to layer that down, and then layer this piece down, and then comes the fun part, because you can see that we're only like 2.5 minutes into the video, but the video's 8 minutes long, so this is where it gets a little messy. I didn't like the way the thing was coming together. So these are the dino elements. These are really cute. These are enamel elements that you can put on. And I thought it would just be cute to add one to the card. And you can just add them in little areas like I'm going to add here. Just for a little something. Draw a little interest. And they're sticky. So you just put them on and you're done. Okay, so I started messing with this pterodactyl and I did not like the placement at all. Originally my idea was like it would kind of go right near the sentiment, but then I was like it's kind of too small. So then I thought, well, maybe I should stamp a T-Rex. So I grabbed the stamp set again and my cardstock, and you're just gonna get to watch now as I finish trying to figure out how I want to put this card together. I'll let you do that while I chat. Okay, so I made this card originally for my nephew, thinking it would be his graduation card. When I got it all done, I was like, this is way too juvenile for a 14-year-old graduation card. So I felt like he would take great offense to it because my nephew is autistic. So he is on the spectrum. He's verbal, he's highly intelligent, as most autistic people are, and he just struggles with social cues and behavioral stuff. So where he spans on the spectrum, I don't really know. I don't have a full understanding, I'll be totally honest, of ASD. I just know that he's a really sweet person, but he definitely struggles with social cues and appropriateness and behavioral stuff. And so I was worried that this card would come across to him like I was, like he was stupid, or or not the age that he is. Like, it wouldn't be cool enough, or it wouldn't, I don't know. I just didn't want to hurt his feelings, and I didn't want him to think that I thought he was a little kid because he's autistic, basically, and because he's totally not. Like, he's awesome. So anyway, when I was making the card, my intent originally was to give this to him because he graduated or promoted from 8th grade, which is a really big deal for him because the boy has struggled, let me tell you. I mean, my poor mom has gotten so my mom has raised him, and that's a whole nother story. But my mom has raised him, and he has really, really struggled a lot in school. He hates school. He really just totally hates it. And he goes to a special school for people that struggle with autism or ASD, that struggle with ASD and ADHD and stuff like that. So he has to travel like an hour every day to go to school each way. It's kind of a long thing. He has to ride a bus. It's an ordeal. And he just hates it. He wants to do what he wants to do, which is a marker for people with ASD. I think that, you know, or at least in his case, he doesn't really want to be bothered with the minutia of life. He wants to do his thing. So his thing is trains. Unfortunately, I didn't really have a train stamp set, but I did end up using Geared Up Garage to make him a card, and I didn't even take a picture of the card before I gave it to him because I made it last minute after I decided that this wasn't good enough. But I thought this was really cute, of course, and I'm going to hang on to it and use it at a later time because it's adorable, and you can tell anybody that they're rarsome, right? So anyway, Caleb made it through 8th grade, and he's on to 9th grade next year, and he will go back to the school that he's at now. His goal is to improve his behavior as much as he's capable of in order to be able to go to high school here where we live. Right now, our high school just does not support or have a program we live in a pretty rural area, and we just don't have good programs for somebody that struggles like my nephew does. Basically, the people aren't properly trained to deal with some of the things that he does or that some kids with ASD do. So anyway, I'm sure that there's plenty of you out there that can relate because autism seems to be, you know, like so many people have been diagnosed in the last 10 to 20 years. It's kind of crazy. I know so many people with kids with autism. And it's, I don't know, it's just so sad in the respect of, I wish we could figure out what, you know, why the increase suddenly in this problem. Because I don't know. I mean, it's such a fine line to walk. A lot of people say, you know, it's not a problem. But I watch my nephew struggle, and I know that it's hard for him, and I'm sure he wishes that things could be different for him. So anyway, that was his card that he never received, and I tucked it away for another kid, probably a little younger. I hope you enjoyed this video. Links are below if you want to purchase any of the items that you see. I would love that. You can shop with me at shoploveandstampin.com. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.